Okay, y'all, so we're about to get into this blind reaction. Let's go.
When I was in high school, my bus driver had took me and another girl to her house to fight, and she ended up going to prison about that, which is kind of crazy, but this is the story time. Oh, long story short, kind of maybe a long story. This gonna probably be like different parts. But I was going to a school in a different city because the high school I was going to in my city, I got kicked out of because these girls were trying to jump me, and I had some A's, and they went and told on me. So I had got jumped the year before that. So my mom
wait a minute, you needed some damn boxing lessons after the first jumping? Girl, you need some boxing lessons.
Argued during our hearing with the school where hey, my daughter got jumped, y'all didn't do nothing about it, so you know what, y'all kicking her out of school for a weapon, but she needs that. So they end up telling me okay, well, you can go to any school in the county, we will provide transportation. So not my sister, but my mom was like, you should go to this school. So it was a different school in a different city. So the girl I had got into it with, her friends, they was kind of like bullies, that's what they do, but I had never had an interaction.
I could not stand cliques back in high school. I don't necessarily think I was in a clique. I just had a close group of friends. But we wasn't mean to nobody. We was nice to everybody. At least I was, child. Some may say I was a bully, but I was nice to everybody.
Her, but I was kind of in my head, I had already said, the moment she say something to me, I'm gonna snap so motherfucking hard, because I don't know who that bitch feeling like. Back then I was on that. I was ready for that bitch to say something to me. You know, I just got kicked out of my last school and I'm still on that. Ain't learned my lesson yet. Okay, so the girl had ended up saying something y'all need to shut the fuck up, too loud. So I'm like, oh my God, this silent library ass bus, we can't talk. Fine.
I used to hate when the bus drivers be like, don't say nothing. And I get it, especially if kids is just being the most on the bus. When I was in middle school, since I don't go there no more, I was going to KIPP Indianapolis College Preparatory, and we was in the back of that bus on bus 32. Mr. James hated ours. He hated us, y'all. We was some loud ass ghetto ass kids, for real.
So I think I had laughed because really, now that I think about it, literally I wanted her to say something to me. So she was like, what's funny? I'm like, you? And she ended up saying something in Spanish. She was talking to her friends, whatever. So I was like, oh, okay, she don't want to fight for real. So I get off the bus at my bus stop. Mind you, she's still on the bus because her house, I don't know where her house was, but I get off my bus stop first. So she ended up sticking her head out the window and was like, bitch, you think you all that? You not that, da 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 da. I'll beat your ass. She was telling that. And I was like,
and the fact that she had just got to the school, child, y'all don't even know me to think that I think that. Or if I did thought that, you wouldn't know I just met y'all people. What the fuck?
Oh, man, I'm gonna whoop your ass tomorrow. You be ready. I'm whooping your ass. So I ain't gonna lie, the next day I came suited and booted.
I would have been ready to Vaseline on thick, okay?
I had my tennis shoes on. I think I was looking raggedy as hell that day. I had some jeans on. I had some ugly ass shoes. I was suited and booted, babe.
You have to stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready, okay?
You know, that whole day when I got on the bus that morning, she was not there. So I end up asking, I'm like, what old girl at? Where she at? I thought we was about to fight today. So they was like, nah, old girl, she had to go to court. Her friends, they had jumped some girl. Court. They got to go to court about it, but she gonna be here this afternoon. I said, court. Okay, but.
Was she? I don't know if she said it. I don't know if she's going to an alternative school, but court, because y'all was jumping. Wait.
At least, you know, I got time to be in school.
I feel like this. If you gotta jump somebody and y'all can't go one-on-ones, individual round for rounds, y'all can't fight. Y'all can only fight when it's an army of y'all. Yeah, bitches like that would have to get, you know what I'm saying? I would not play with them.
Cool, mentally prepare. Do I really want to get my ass towed up when I get home? Because my mama did not play that shit. Why the fuck I was at school acting a fool like that? My mom.
Yeah, my mama didn't play that either. My girl, I felt like when I got into that fight with them sisters on the bus, if that was my mama would have pulled back up to their house for real and made me fight them again. For sure, okay? My grandmama, she just was just like, you know, well, you suspended. We got to take you back and forth to school now. So, oh my God, I used to hate getting suspended off the bus. And it never started with me. This ain't about me. This is about her. But just know, y'all, I got some story times about me being on the bus, being a little reckless hood rat.
I did not say that. My mom was literally a children's minister. But I ain't gonna lie, I had the whole day to think about it. I was still on that. When I got back on that bus, the girl, she went to a different school than me. So they picked up my school first. So I sat in that front seat right behind.
I can't stand mixed schools like that. When I went to KIPP, that was a mixed school. In front of the school, like in the front part of this building, was another school. And our school was in the back of the building. And I didn't like that. I never liked that. Because we would have to have, like, we would share the gym area and the cafeteria. I think those are both shared areas, but everything else is like split. And those other kids was in an alternative school, and it was, child, it was not it. It was not it.
Behind the bus driver, mind you, my bus driver, she was on that. I ain't gonna lie, like, she was young. She was in her 20s. She used to let us do whatever. People used to be smoking.
I don't like young bus drivers. As somebody that takes, like, public transportation, I don't like the young drivers. And it's not because, like, oh, they're just so ratchet. They just so, you know, It's how they drive. But that's just personal preference.
Smoking on the bus. Sometimes people would skip and stay on the bus with her. Like, they was on that. She was on that, okay?
They didn't have cameras on your buses? Y'all, I'm 30. When I was in the 8th grade, we had cameras on the bus. When I got into that fight, that principal told me, she said it looked like Aisha was trying to really harm those girls. Yeah, like what the But they had buses with cameras on them back then. Where was the cameras?
So my bus driver already knew what's up. She already knew that me and the girl was from the fight. And I don't think that she liked the girl because her and her friends used to call the board of transportation on the lady, all kind of stuff. So really my bus driver low-key like wanted me to fight the girl. So I remember when she finally picked the girl up, I was in the first seat. I stood up like this. I stood tall and I got in the girl's face. I said, now, what you had said yesterday? Why did the girl shove me in the seat?
You kind of asked for that, friend. I'm sorry, but you asked for that.
That bitch shoved me in the seat and walked to the back. I had never had a bitch dog me like that. I was like, oh, okay, this bitch is on that. She's that girl. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, like, I really have to book this bitch ass now. Like, she'll put her hands.
Yeah, she definitely, because she sunned you. You needed to. See, that was a perfect moment to defend yourself. My mama always said if they touch you first, you got all the right to defend yourself. Now, I am an educator. So anytime my students tell me that they want to fight somebody, they're upset to the point where they feel like they have to put physical harm on somebody. We reel them back in. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. But yeah, in this moment, I wouldn't have been that mad at my student. I'm gonna just say that.
On me, the bitch, then like embarrassed the fuck out of me, honestly. So I went back there to where she was, and I'm like, babe, are we gonna fight? Because you just put your hands on.
You did too much talking. You did too much talking.
On me. She was like, oh, like it's whatever. I said, okay, bet. So I ended up asking the bus driver. I was like, is you gonna put a bus over and let us fight? Because I low-key don't want to fight on the bus. And so my bus driver was like, yeah, I'll pull the bus over.
At that very moment, she should have called dispatch and said, hello, operator. I got 2 girls that's trying to fight on this bus. I'm gonna pull over. Y'all need to send somebody out to me. That's what should have happened. But that's not what happened here.
She pulled the fucking bus over, girl. So we was about to get off the bus, and this was like in between cities, because here's my.
And where was the bus monitor?
City, here's an in-between city, and here's the city where our schools was. So we're in the in-between city. So we pull over, and then the bus driver was getting ready to open the door to let us off the bus, and she was like, wait, hold on. It's too many polices in this area. Y'all can't fight in this area. We got to find somewhere else to fight. I was like, yeah, you know what? You right. You know what my bus driver told us we can fight? She said, y'all can fight at my house. I got a big yard. Y'all can fight at my house.
Immediately. Jail. Jail.
Yeah. We ended up going to my bus driver house. I'm going to stop the story time at this right here. Y'all like for part 2. Okay? When I was in... Okay, this is part 2 of the story time on how my bus driver took me and another girl to her house to fight, and she ended up going to prison. Okay, so where
I'm interested in this court case. I'm going to see if I can find this court case. Because, I mean, she's clearly in America. So, I'm sure it's public. So, if I find it, I'll put something here. Because, yeah, we got to know that. Okay, so I found this article that, well, I don't know if it's the article, but Google, y'all know how they have the AI thing. But basically, what the girl is saying is right in her story time. So she was 16. The girl that she was fighting was 13 years old. That's crazy. And she thought the girl was talking about her in Spanish, and she took that shit to hell, as we saw in her story time. So the bus driver said, pretty much like, nah, they need to fight that out like right now. So she took them to her house and she really let them fight. 21 months in prison. 21 months in prison. And yeah, she'll never be able to work with kids ever again. Someone would be desperate to let that happen, but
so we took a vote.
Y'all would have been at that schoolhouse. That's where I would have taken y'all. Y'all fight out in that schoolhouse, not on my bus.
My bus driver got on the intercom. She's like, all in favor of y'all go to my house to see a fight. Everybody say aye. Everybody was like, hey, we on that. So listen, the way to my bus driver's house, mind you, I was sitting behind my bus driver. So she was like, girl, you make sure you keep your head up. You need some tennis shoes. You got on tennis shoes. When we get to the house, I'm gonna get you some Vaseline so you can put some Vaseline on your face, so she don't scratch her face up.
So this is like, oh my God. I'm just appalled.
Just like basically coaching me. I was 16 at the time. I don't know if I told y'all that. I was 16, y'all. I was 16.
So too old to be acting like this. Y'all could have fought in the bathroom at the schoolhouse.
My best driver was in her 20s. I don't know how old the 20, but she was in her 20s. And so my best driver was like, basically like, yeah, like, I got you, girl. Like, it's that. So once we get to the house, I remember my bus driver ended up going into the yard. So now everybody's crowding around, everybody in a circle. My bus driver was like, hold on, y'all don't fight. Y'all finna go in the house and get the Vaseline. So I guess she didn't have no Vaseline. She came back outside with some baby oil.
I don't even look at baby oil the same. Diddy done messed up baby oil for everybody.
This girl came outside with some baby oil. She didn't have no Vaseline. So I remember looking at my bus driver like, and then I just turned around and I ran up to the girl because she was in the middle of the circle. And I just, boom. And we just went to fighting. So when I tell y'all this was a knockdown, drag out, mind you, the only adult that was there monitoring us, and I don't know if I told y'all, it was 32 kids on the bus. White, black, Spanish.
She had a whole bus of kids? I see why she went to prison. I see why she went to prison. What?
Chinese, all kinds of kids. So nobody's breaking this fight up. Right. Me and the girl, we was fighting for a long time. I remember, and I'm gonna show y'all. I might insert the video because it ended up being on the news, y'all. I literally could pull up the video. But on part of the fight, I literally grabbed the girl and I slammed her into the grill. Like, we was fighting for a long time, and I remember just picking up dirt, putting it in her face. Like, we was just doing the most. Yeah. So I guess we finally just decided that we was tired and the fight stopped. So when we got back on the bus, I remember I was sitting like that. I looked toe up because at that time I had a silk press, and my silk press was not silking. No.
This is crazy. I'm like, what? Oh wow. They could have really hurt themselves on some like real stuff. Like y'all really could have hurt yourselves, There was no adult present. That 20-year-old bus driver, there was no adult present.
More. It was toe up, my head was sticking up. I'm out of breath, I'm tired. And then the girl, she out of breath, she breathing hard, but she staring at me. So they was like, oh, you got beat up. They saying this to the girl now. They was like, oh, you got beat up, you gotta run that bag, you can't let that girl beat you up. So I'm like, oh my God. The girl was bigger than me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, the girl was bigger than me. So I'm like, I hope she don't run up on me, because if she run up on me, she finna whoop my ass. I'm tired as fuck, and we on the bus. This girl finna tear my ass up. So I ain't gonna lie, that girl ran up on me and she went to
She had to get them ones back.
she was boinking my head a little bit. I ain't no shade. But I remember I ended up grabbing her hand and she had my hair and I had her hair, so we was like just sitting like this for a while, like you let my hair go. No, you let my damn hair go. We was doing one of those. But then we finally got to a point, I guess, where we both let go. So once the fight was over, my bus driver gets back on her handy dandy intercom and she's like, y'all alright? Everybody alright?
And now y'all late for school.
Okay. Well, what happens on the bus stays on the bus.
And with that rhetoric, jail.
She asked me, she was like, you ain't gonna tell, right? I said, no, I ain't gonna tell. Then she asked the girl, you ain't gonna tell, right? She was like, no, I'm on probation. They just put me on probation. I ain't gonna tell. So my bus driver, she didn't drop me off at my regular bus stop. She ended up dropping me off at my grandma's house. And I remember when I got back at my grandma's house, I had scratches on my face. Like, I'm looking toe up. My grandma like, what the hell happened to you? So I ended up telling my mom and my dad, like, I got into a fight. But I just did not tell them the details of everything. So, you know, when I explained the fight to them, I'm like, yeah, I got into a fight at the bus stop. I got into a fight at the bus stop.
I just can't. It's honestly, it's good that she said something, but I'm interested to see how all of this unfolded, because obviously she led what she went to prison.
But
and then your family church people. Oh, child, the judgment.
And we're not going to get in trouble because the bus driver said she's not going to say nothing. So they was like, okay, well, who won? Basically. And that was the end of it. For now. Until that night, like 12 o'clock that night. So I don't know if y'all know, like, after you get into a fight, you be so sore. So I remember going to sleep that day. And like 12 o'clock.
It's like you be needing to soak in Epsom salt.
That night, I got a knock on the door. So I remember waking up and my mom was like, Amani! I come in the living room, it's two detectives sitting on the couch waiting on me. I was like, oh shit. I got myself into some bullshit. I ain't gonna lie, I had did a lot of crazy shit growing up. Like, I got so many story times, so this was kind of like a pattern for me. So like at this point, my mom and my daddy tired of my shit. Like, all right, bitch, you been doing this. Like, god damn it. Can we have one day? So the detective ended up asking me, and mind you, like, I'm sore as hell. Like, the fight, when I tell you the fight was so gruesome, I had 2 long fights. Nobody's breaking the fight up.
Yeah.
So when they're talking to me, I can't even hold my head up, y'all. I was so damaged. Like, while they were talking to me, my head was doing like this.
I mean, truly, she should have probably went to the hospital. Like, the way she was describing the fight, yeah, it sounded like y'all both needed to go to the hospital.
Like, I can't even hold my head up. So I remember the detectives was like, what did they say? They was like, did you get into a fight today? I'm like, yeah, a little cat fight. They was like,
girl, a little cat fight. Girl, that was a beat down.
And where was this fight at? I was like, at the bus stop. They was like, so it wasn't at your bus driver's house. I'm like, who told you that? Why the fuck these people pull out the goddamn video? And they had
the cell phones, man. The cell phones.
Different angles of the video. Mind you, it was 32 kids out there. When I tell you they had so many different angles because everybody was out that bitch recording. I ended up finding out that the girl, she went home, told her mama what happened, and the girl mama called the police. So
the only parent in the whole ordeal thus far that has some common fucking sense. Because your parents think, who won? No, I would have been calling the freaking school talking about some, did y'all know my child was on the bus fighting? Then y'all didn't even drop her back off at home. Y'all dropped her off at her grandmother's house. The fuck y'all got going on?
So now my mom was like, okay, we got to get a lawyer. We finna sue the school board. So I'm like, yeah, that's what we got to do. As long as it don't involve me getting my ass towed up, I'm with whatever. Sue the school board. For sure, this is an outrageous thing they have done. Even
Okay.
though it was me and the other girl and the bus driver that did it. But, sue the school board, Yeah, so, I'm thinking that would pretty much be the end of it. But they end up telling me that me and the girl was getting charged with battery. So it was not the end. So I remember that at that time, my mom, they had sued the school board. So I had to go see a therapist and everything. And I had to go.
Obviously, because you done got jumped multiple times before this. You're now at a new school. You ain't even been there a month. And you already in an altercation at your bus driver's house with a girl that probably could have just got a little suspension because she pushed you first. But instead of the adult in the situation that witnessed it, literally egged the situation on. Yeah, you probably did need some therapy, yeah.
Get a CAT scan and, go to the hospital, the normal stuff. And so I remember the next day, after you get in trouble, you kind of like trying to be low key, like not trying to make too much noise because I don't want my mama and my dad to remember that they owed me an ass whooping. So, I'm like treading lightly, real lightly.
Man, them days after a fight, it's like you don't even want to speak. You don't want to ask for nothing.
So I remember hearing my mom and my dad was playing the news in the living room, and it was like, bus driver takes kids to her house to fight. Why the fuck we all ran in the living room at the same time? This shit was on ABC News on Good Morning America. I was like, oh my God. Like, I've outdid myself. I had did some crazy shit, but I have outdid myself with this one. By far. Y'all, why did they have the whole fight on the news? Then Grady Judd, I don't know if y'all know the area that I live in Polk County. Grady Judd, he's like a famous sheriff. He did a whole press conference on it and everything. So at this point, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a famous ass bitch.
The most scandalous thing I could think that my bus driver did was yell at us and his teeth fell out. That was one. And then the other one, a bus driver, he was an older white man, and he had beer cans in his trash can while driving us. So that was the craziest two things. Girl, you definitely did your big one on this.
I'm really that girl. So the people end up calling, I guess the police or whoever it was, the lawyers or whatever, they end up calling me and telling me like if me and the girl, we both signed something saying that we wasn't going to press charges on each other, they was going to drop our charges. But what they had offered my bus driver, they offered her 2 years in prison because she was getting charged with 32 counts of kidnapping, 32 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and 32 counts of child neglect. Yeah, because it was 32.
She ain't never gonna get another job. No. Her best bet is to sell pineapples on the side of the road. Ain't never gonna get another job.
Kids, so she was getting 32 counts of every single charge. So 2 years in prison, she was really getting off. So yeah, my bus driver ended up going to prison about that. Yeah, she did.
Wow.
Am I missing anything? I think that's pretty much the end of the story. I was on the news. My bus driver went to prison.
Wow.
High school, my bus driver had, and I fought a girl, took me and another girl to her house, and y'all saw a
This is her page, y'all. So if y'all want to go to her page to look at any other of her other videos or whatever,